Positive and negative effects of tourism in France.
France is one of the most visited and attractive destinations in the world. Every year it receives millions of tourists. It is characterized by the tourist offers in present, which focus on art, history, and gastronomy that mixed with the different manifestations, form the interesting and obstacle experience for tourists. Due to this, tourism has both positive and negative effects for the country that it affects directly and indirectly.
For France, tourism is a key sector as it grows at 8% of GDP, helping the local economy. The table in French is a comparison of the growth of the gross domestic products in millions of euros, which has had trend from 2005 and 2020. For each year received more and more tourists, but the year where fewer tourists received was in 2009 due to the H1N1 avian flu pandemic, and 2020 by the coronavirus, causing loss of more than 25 million euros, prompting a loss in gross domestic product, in GDP. Understanding people with money and willingness to travel, in this case France with touristic places, boom increase of GDP. Another reason why tourism is good is the creation of jobs, and is generating more than 2 million direct and indirect jobs related to passenger transport, production and handicrafts, sports, and cultural service. The following table shows the unemployment rate that there was in France in the year 2017. As can be seen, just the months of July, August, December, and January, employment dropped drastically because during those months are usually the holidays periods of the other countries. And last but not least, tourism allows the development of the place, as well as the maintenance of this. One example in case of French is the museums, zoos, and monuments.
But not everything is good. Receiving many of the tourists causes several disadvantages such as pollution. This is due to the increase in mass public transportation. According to a study carried out by the French National Health Agency in 2016, air pollution has been responsible each year for 48,000 registered deaths in the country. Paris has suffered the damaging effects of smoke, particularly in winter, and although cars are not the only ones responsible for polluting air, they are an important part of the equation. The following table shows the concentration index of gas emissions in base 100 in France. The green line shows how carbon dioxide emissions have dropped dramatically because France has encouraged its inabilities to use environmental-friendly means of transport, which is affected by the tourism because tourists do not train to use environmental-friendly transport during their stays in the country. Second is the inflation that occurs during the holiday period. During April and May, France has an increased inflation of approximately 1.2% due to the tourist load during those months, in connection with spring vacations. According to INSEE, during holiday period, there is 2.3% increase in energy and food. This is due to the demand of more than 30 million tourists in Paris. The following table shows inflation rate of France by month. What we can notice is that the vacations months there is a higher inflation rate. They're due to the fact that there is more demand for energy and food services, which cause a raise in price. And finally, the third negative effect is tourism attracts more crime, because if there are more people, it is less likely to see you steal something. During seasonal periods or events, it is where we have seen a higher rate of theft. This is because pickpockets see as a target to clueless tourists.
To conclude, we can say that France is one of the most visited tourist destinations in the world. Due to this a variety of options to visit, learn, and taste, the positive effect will be the local economic employment opportunities and maintenance on tourist place. But in the negative effects will the pollution is a sense quiescence and inflation that occur during the holiday period and increase insecurity. After his will that French will cause on the worldwide impact and massive tourism, or will it become the world's greatest power?